Hi there guys, my name is Aaron and you can learn, make and create together with me in the most amazing software which is called Adobe Photoshop. Today I'm going to show you how you can edit this portrait step by step using some actions. So without further ado, let's get started. So before we dive into today's video tutorial, I want to give a huge thanks to the Audio Pro who has recently sponsored this channel. Audio Pro has been a game changer for my content. Whether I'm working on a beauty retouching tutorial or more creative projects, their huge library of high quality music and sound effects has helped me to elevate my videos to the next level. From cinematic scores to ambient sounds, Audio Pro has everything that you need to enhance your project. I highly recommend checking them out, and if you are looking for the music that sets the right mood for your videos, click the link down in the description and you will have 70% off on the discount. So once again, a huge thanks to the Audio Pro for their support and to everyone who is watching this video tutorial. So first thing first, what we're going to do after we open the raw file in the camera raw. As you can see, I made some changes in the exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites and blacks. Also for the color, I moved the temperature just a little into the right, so this portrait will have warmer tones. And also in the calibration, I made some changes here, as you can see, in the green primary and in the red primary. So here's the before and after of what we've done in camera raw. Now I'm just gonna click here open and wait until it's open in the Photoshop. And here we have only a single layer that is background. So I'm gonna create another copy of this background and I will rename it as before so I can see a before and after while I'm working. So just drag and drop the background here to the plus and rename before. Usually I rename this as SOOC file, so that means that is a straight out of camera file. So as you can see, before and after there is nothing happening because we haven't done anything yet. So here we have our actions that we are going to use today for this amazing portrait. So first thing first, I'm gonna click here on the 14 Premium Retouching Actions 2023, and first thing first, what I'm going to do into this portrait is cleaning. So for clean, I'm gonna click here and I will click play, wait until it's done. And as you can see, we have two layers here. One of them is clean and one of them is a black and white help layer. So we click here on the clean, we click here on the spot healing brush tool. I'm gonna zoom in and make sure that sample all layers is unchecked because right now we have a layer that is full. And I'm gonna zoom in and I will start cleaning this portrait. But before we proceed in the video tutorial, please don't forget to check all the links down in the description, because you will find this amazing raw file and the retouching actions that we are going to use in this video tutorial. Also, you can find some raw files from previous video tutorials. So click the link in the description, join my Telegram channel, and you will have access to a bunch of amazing raw files for practice. So let's just get started. So I'm just gonna click here and I'm gonna clean the portrait just like this. So make sure that when you retouch a portrait, usually it takes some time, and clean the portrait as good as possible, because sometimes into a portrait all we need is some good cleaning and maybe some dodge and burn. So if you clean and you dodge and burn perfectly, sometimes you don't need to use the frequency separation and that will be easier for you. And as you can see, a before and after what you've done with the cleaning, and I think that is looking okay. Now I'm just going to merge both of them. Right click and click here that says merge layers. So click again on the actions, and now that I am done with the clean, it's time for the dodge and burn. So I'm gonna click here on dodge, click play, and click here on the burn, click play. I'm gonna close the actions right now, click here on the dodge, and I'm gonna add two windows for a dodge and burn so I can dodge and burn as good as possible. So I'm gonna click here on window, click arrange, and choose a new window for the name of the file, and click here again to the window, click arrange and choose 2 up vertical. So right now we have one window in 2 windows. So as you can see, we have one file, sorry, in 2 windows. And the reason why I'm doing this is that I don't want to zoom in and zoom out every time that I want to see a before and after on what is happening in the dodge and burn. So the left window, I'm going to leave it as a zoom out so I can see details. But I said that I don't want to zoom in and zoom out every time. And in the right window, I will zoom in as much as needed. For example, I think that right now is okay. And with a white brush, as you can see, the white brush and 100% of opacity and just 2% of the flow, I'm going to dodge this portrait. So I'm going to turn on the black and white help layer, and I'm going to start to dodge and burn this amazing portrait. So here's before and after what I just did. Zoom in. So you have to keep an eye in the left window and work in the right window. So in this case, you will see where to dodge and to burn the portrait. So let's just get started. Now that I'm done with the dodge, it's time for the burn. So the same thing goes for the burn too. So here's before and after what we've done so far with the dodge and burn. I'm gonna click X here on the left window because it's the same thing. Now here we have only the dodge and I think that is looking okay. Now click on the burn, and as you can see what we've done so far. Here's the before and after of everything that we've done so far. And I think that is okay. Now that I'm done with the dodge and burn 2, I'm just going to merge them into a single layer. So click here on merge layers. Go back to the actions, and now that we are done with dodge and burn, it's time for some frequency separation. So I'm gonna click here that says FS plus, click play, and just zoom out a little here on the radius, because to choose the right radius for the portrait in frequency separation, you need to slide this into the left and just move this into the right slowly until you see the skin color is more blurry. So I think that 10% of this one is okay. Click OK. Now here we have our frequency separation group. So right now we are going to work on the low frequency, which is the color, and after we are done with the color, we will be working in the high frequency or in the texture. So in the low frequency, I'm going to work with the mixer brush. So the settings right now for this portrait are 10% wet, load by 40, mix by 33 maybe, and flow by 33 too. And I will turn off the high frequency right now because I want to see the details better. And I'm going to work with a general brush, with a soft round brush, which is default by Photoshop. And I will start mixing the skin tones of this portrait. Make sure that you don't overdo this process because, for example, if you overdo the work with a mixer brush, you will have some bad colors of the portrait, or the portrait will look too flat. So you have to be careful on this process. As you can see, we haven't sorry, we haven't removed the necklines perfectly. So we are going to work just a little with a mixer brush in frequency separation. Now check out before and after what we have done so far, and I think that is okay. Now keep working just a little more in the frequency separation, especially in the low frequency. So here's before and after, and I think that is looking okay. I'm gonna zoom in to see what we have did here on the nose. And I think that I'm going to remove this part of the shadow that is created by the nose. So as you can see, it's in the low frequency or in the color, and we have to remove it. So I'm just going to work with the mixer brush in this part just a little until I see that it has disappeared, something like that. Now check it before and after, and I think that is done. So as you can see, we have worked, we have touched the color of the nose, so we have to remove that because it will look fake. So I'm just gonna create a layer mask here, and with a black brush and 100% of opacity, 100% of the flow, I'm just gonna paint here where I want to remove that that thing that we did before. So here's before and after, and I think that is okay. Now check it before and after of this entire process in the zoom out, and I think that is okay. And as you can see, the shadow is still here, so we have to click here on the high frequency and we have to remove it because it's in the texture. So click here on the clone stamp tool, make sure that opacity is 100% and flow 100%. And we are going to copy and paste the texture as near as possible. So to copy paste the texture in high frequency, you have to click Alt keyboard, hold it, and just click, and it's copy. So here we have, and just paint to paste. So hold Alt keyboard to copy, release it, and just paint to paste. So this is the best settings for the high frequency or the texture to copy paste the texture of the portrait. And as you can see, we still have some shadows here, and I think that we are going to leave them because we have removed the shadow from the nose and it will look more fake, so we have to leave it as it is. So click again to the high frequency and just keep working with the clone stamp tool until you think that the portrait is okay, because we still have some texture that we need to clean into this portrait. So I'm going to do that process, but make sure that you copy paste as near as possible, because if you copy here and you paste it here, as you can see, you will create some bad marks over the texture. So as I said, you have to be careful and copy paste as near as possible. So here's the before and after of the frequency separation, and I think that is looking okay, only that this part needs just a little more work here on the low frequency. So go back again to the mixer brush and just work just a little more on this part. So here's before, and I think that the problem is in the layer mask. So I'm going to work with a white brush and just paint it around here, just like that. So here's the before and after, and I think is okay. Now just a little more work here with the clone stamp tool in the high frequency. So we are going to remove that small shadow. So here's before and after, and I think it's okay. Now check before and after of this entire process, and I think that is looking okay. Now that we are done with the frequency separation, I'm just going to merge both of them into a single layer. And after we are done with the clean, dodge and burn and frequency separation, it's time for some eye makeup work. So I'm gonna go here to the makeup artist retouching actions. So I'm gonna click on the makeup details, zoom in, and here we have the eyes retouch, darken eyebrows, darken eyelashes, smoke eyes, mascara, eyeshadow, and eyeshadow pop, and everything that we need about the makeup details. So I'm going to click here on the darken eyebrows, click play, click on the darken eyelashes, click play, smoky eyes, click play, and I'm going to remove that black and white help layer because we don't need that right now. So I'm gonna click here on the darken eyebrows with white brush, 100% of opacity. I'm just going to paint it here on the eyebrows, so I will make them just a little darker, and I'm going to reduce the opacity because 22 is kind of too much, so I'm going to leave it by 10. Click here on the darken eyelashes and just paint it here, Now check it before and after, and I think that is okay. Now click here that says smoky eyes. Just paint where you want to create some nice shadows for the eyes makeup. Now check it before and after you're done, just merge them again into a single layer. Now click here on the mascara if you want. For example, just click play and paint it over there on the eyelashes, but I think that 100% is kind of too much, so I'm going to leave it by 20%, and I'm going to merge into a single layer again. Now click here on the eyeshadows that says pick a color you want. I'm going to play it twice. For example, you can copy the color that is here and just paint it, and you will create some nice makeup colors. For example, do the same process in both of them if you want to match, and copy the color that is under the eyelashes and just paint it over there, just like that. You can even choose a different color for your preferences, but I think that I'm going to stick with this color that is right now, and I think that is okay. I'm going to lower the opacity just a little. For example, you can even add some shadows here and just paint it around just like this. Now you can zoom out and check it before and after, which is looking good, but it's kind of too much, so I'm going to lower it just a little. Now check it before and after, and I think that is okay. Now merge all of them into a single layer, because for the makeup artist retouching actions to work fine, you have to merge every time that you put something. For example, you need only the background or the before to see it before and after. And now that I am done with some eyeshadows and as you can see, the darker eyebrows, darker eyelashes, I'm going to click here that says eyeshadow pop. I'm just going to play it and paint it over there. And as you can see, the eyes makeup will pop up, as you can see. So we have to remove it of the background, just like that. So here's before and after, which is looking really great. So I'm going to lower just a little. Now check it before and after, and merge them into a single one again every time. And right now, when we are done with the makeup details, I think that I'm going to add just a little lipstick color into this portrait. So just click here on the lipstick, click play, and turn on a lipstick color that is inside the group, and zoom in. And I think that I'm going to create a selection around the lips with the pen tool, just like this. So just create a selection around the lips. Now click here, make selection, right click, and feather radius, I think that I'm gonna go by 2 pixels. Click OK, and just paint it over there with a white brush, just like this. Make sure that you don't paint inside the mouth, because otherwise the teeth will look pink or red. We have to be very gentle in this part, but we can remove that later if we want to. Now check before and after in the zoom out, which is looking terrible, because as you can see, we have painted outside that. But right now we are going to choose our lipstick color that will match the portrait. So I'm going to check them one by one, and I think that this one is looking really good, but I'm going to check others. This one is okay too, this one. But as I said, I think that I'm going to stick with this one because it's looking really good. So I'm gonna zoom in, and as you can see, the line is kind of too harsh. So I'm just gonna double click here, and the properties will show up, and I'm gonna increase the feather. I think that 3 pixels is fine. So check before and after, and I think that is okay. You can even double click here and make some changes in the layer style. For example, with the highlights, as you can see, we don't have the highlights right now. For example, if you slide this into the right, and we have to divide this. Click Alt keyboard and just slide this into the left, and you will see that this effect will be gone in the highlights only. And if you do that in the left one, we will remove the effect or the color from the shadows. So here's before and after, and click on the lipstick layer mask and just paint it out in this part, because I think that is kind of too fake, just like this. Now I'm going to reduce the entire opacity of the lipstick color, and I think that I'm gonna go by 50%. Now check it before and after, and I think that is okay, but still kind of too much, so I'm gonna go by 45 maybe, and 45 I think it's okay. So here's before and after of everything that we've done so far. I'm gonna merge both of them into a single layer, and now that we are done with some makeup details, I'm gonna add just a little more dodge and burn into this portrait. So I'm gonna click here on the dodge and burn, just click play, wait until it's done. So here we have dodge and burn. I'm gonna zoom in with white brush. I'm just going to paint with 10% of the opacity, sorry. I'm going to paint where I want to add some dodge to this portrait. So here's before and after, and I think it's okay. Now click here on the burn and add some contours around this portrait. For example, around the forehead, just a little on the cheeks, a little on the hair, under the lips. Now check before and after, and I think that is looking okay. Now I'm going to merge both of them into a single layer. So here's the before and after of everything else. And now that I'm done with the retouch about the face and everything else, I think that I'm going to remove the background. So I'm gonna duplicate the background and click here that says select subject. Wait until the selection is done, and I'm gonna click here on the laser tool, click here select and mask, because I want to remove the hair as good as possible. So here we have the hair is removed, but I'm gonna bring them back with that tool, just like this. Now I'm gonna click here on the refine edge brush, and I'm just going to bring back the hair as good as possible, just like this. Oops, sorry, we need to go back again because I did a mistake. So bring back the hair just like this. Click here on the refine edge brush tool and just paint it over there until we see the hair is looking okay. Now click OK and click here on the layer mask, and here we have the background is removed, but we have to bring back some stuff. For example, the ear. We have to click here on the white brush, 100% opacity. I'm just going to paint it where you see the transparent backdrop or the background, just like this. You can even do this process with a pen tool and it will be more professional, but this one is quicker, so I stick to this one. But for example, if you wanna remove the backdrop or the background as good as possible, you should do it with a pen tool. So here's before and after, and I think that is looking okay. So right now we are going to add another color on the background. So I'm gonna click here on the solid color and I will choose, for example, this color, but you can choose whatever color that you want. But as I said, I'm going to choose the color that is right now with a code D0B394. Click OK. So here's before and after, which is looking good, but not that much because we need to add some texture into that one. And as you can see, we still have some shadows around the selection. So I'm gonna click here on the layer mask with black brush. I'm just going to paint it over here, because as I said, if you want to create a nice selection, you should do it with a pen tool and it will be more professional. So I'm gonna click here on the color fill again, and I'm gonna add some shadow to this. So I'm gonna click here on the curves, and I will move this just a little right here, which I think that is okay. Now check it before and after, and I think it's okay. Now I'm gonna merge this one and the curves. So I'm gonna click here on the merge layers, and it will be a single layer. So I'm gonna click here on the filter, click noise, and add noise. So I think 5% is enough. So, or maybe increase it to 7 or 8. Now check it before and after, which is looking really good. But as I said, for example, the edges look too fake. So I'm gonna click here on the blur tool, zoom in, and I will paint it only on the layer mask, so the edges will look better. But as I said, if you want to do this as good as possible, you should do it with a pen tool, and these edges won't bother you anymore because it will be really professional. So here's before and after what we've done so far. And now that the background is changed, for example, you can even slide this just a little to have the shadows, but I think that I will leave it as it is. Or if you want to create a fake shadow, you can create an empty layer here, click Control and click here on the layer mask, and you will have a selection around that, and just paint a black shadow just like this. Maybe move this for example here, or maybe here, depends. But as you can see, the light is hitting the portrait into the right. So right now the shadow is kind of too harsh, so I'm gonna click here on the blur and add some Gaussian blur, and until you think that this one is looking okay. And for example, you can even lower the opacity of this portrait, or here, depends on your preferences. But as you can see, we have it here, which is hitting the light from the right. So here's before and after everything that we've done so far. And now that we are done with the retouch, background changer and everything else, I want to play color grade. So I think that I'm gonna go with the black tone actions. I'm gonna play it the 5, or maybe a different one. And I think that BTA 9 is looking really good. So here's before and after. And I'm going to lower just a little. So here's before and after, which is looking really good. And one more thing that I'm going to add into this portrait is that I'm going to put face contouring. Click play, wait until it's done. So here's before and after. For example, you can make some changes in the face contour. So here we have the shadows and the midtones if you want to make some changes, and the highlights. So just slide this into the right just a little. So here we have a before, and here we have an after. I'm gonna zoom in. So here we have a before, and here's an after. Here's before, and here's an after. So that's it for this amazing video tutorial. Please don't forget to check all the links down in the description, because you will find the raw file, the retouching actions, color grade actions, and everything else that you have seen here in this video tutorial. Please don't forget to leave some comments down below. Let me know if you are learning something from me. Let me know if I'm understandable or not, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.